Hello guys, good morning. I want to welcome you again to Daniel the Programmer. In this video, you will learn how to use HTML style and you'll be able to open your AWD and take note that there is a locally saved project, and you'll be able to redirect your particular code to where you've saved that particular folder, and in that folder you'll be able to navigate with your HTML and your CSS styles. But before that, we'll show you how to create a folder in your phone and locate that directory in the AWD application. Firstly, we'll open our AWD and we'll take note that there is no locally saved project. So you go to AWD, you discover that when you try opening a project, you discover that there is no connection to it and there is no locally saved project that you are going to navigate from. So now, for you to create a folder according to what you want to work with, you go back to your files. In your phone, you have files where you have your internal storage, you have your downloads, you have your drive. So you are going to click the internal storage. Now in internal storage, since you need a folder that will contain the HTML and the CSS, you can just come to this three button above it, take create folder, and in the create folder now you can call it coding with Android, for instance. So there you can be able to locate where you want to save everything. So you create. After you create, now you go now to your AWD and locate that particular folder. So now you create your project. Your project name can be given as sample page, for instance. Now for project location, you see your previous location that you used here was AWD. So now you are going to change it to the one you just recently added. So you come back, you go to connection management, you see your locally added, you delete as we discussed in our previous video, then you add. Your name of it can be sample page, for instance. Then your root directory now will be where you want to save that particular project you want to work on. So as you see here, I've highlighted coding with Android. So in that folder, you are going to put your index.html and your CSS. So you take OK. After that, now you discover that a connection has been created. Then you come now and you create your new project. You see your connection now leads you to coding with Android. So you have sample page. Now here you have coding with Android. That means everything you save will be located in coding with Android. Since we want to create an HTML and a CSS which contains a style, you hover on create index.html file. Next, you go to create CSS folder. Then you create style.css. Now we are going to have three different compartments. That's the HTML, CSS, and the CSS. So after that, you see on your right here you have your index.html. You have your CSS which contains a style. Here you can write your style, whether inline or block, and here just simply the name of your project, which is located in the coding with Android folder which you created locally on your phone. Now talking about HTML style, firstly we know the HTML style attribute is used to add styles to an element such as color, font size, and so on. So basically the style attribute has a particular syntax. So when talking of programming, each programming language has its own particular syntax. So for the style attribute, it has its own syntax. That's the syntax is as follows. You have the tag name. After the tag name, you have style, which is the attribute itself. Then you have the property. Then you have the value. Then you make sure that it's uniform. So as you see now, this tag name property and value is just the attribute, it's just the syntax for the style attribute. So the property that you see here is the CSS property and the value is a CSS value. So the question is, how are we going to use this index.html to write our particular program? For example, if we want to style our paragraph, let me see, because we spoke of the paragraph tags. For instance, our paragraph follows the paragraph tag. For instance, you have our paragraph as this, for instance. If we save this, right, and we view in the browser, okay, we're going to take Chrome as our default browser. So if we take here, you discover that welcome to Daniel the programmer, it's not styled with anything. So if we want to style this particular paragraph, we need to use the style attribute. That's we have the tag name. For instance, our tag name that we want to use here is paragraph. So our tag name, now will open our tag name, which is P. Then after the tag name, you will need to make sure you put style as indicated. After style, make sure you have inverted commas, open and close. Then you have your color. The color can be anything that you wish. So for instance, I'll just use red. Make sure you follow the syntax, because if you don't follow that particular syntax, it will not change. So you say I am red, for instance, then you save. After you save, you view in browser. So you discover here that you have I am red. So here we have used the style attribute to beautify our paragraph. So you can do that for multiple colors that you can have. The paragraph style. You have the color, for instance, let's say blue. You see the semicolons are very, very important. So if you end like this, it's not going to, let's save and see. So when we view in browser, you discover that the blue has not popped up. That's because there is no information given in between the tag. So if you have blue, for instance, now you save, then you view in browser, you discover that it has changed to blue. Now in addition, we are also going to talk of background color. So the CSS background color property, it just helps to define the background color of an HTML element. For example, you can set the background color of your sample page to powder blue. So your sample page now, it depends now on how you want it to be. If you want the whole of your page, like your background of your piece of code that you've written, to be at a default color, you can just come here, for instance, above the paragraph. So you're going to set the body. That's the whole body where you're working on. The style, the syntax remains the same. You need to take note of the syntax, because without the syntax you won't get a correct code. So you have the background color. This, let's say powder blue, for instance. Powder blue. Then you save. See, it hasn't changed yet. So let's remove that of the style. Say we have our heading H using the H1 tag. Our paragraph tag. So basically, this is how you set background color for your sample page to be powdered blue, for instance. So depending on the particular color you want, that's how you set the body style to powder blue, and you discover that there will be change in it. So basically, we have spoken of how to use the HTML syntax, the style attribute, and how to be able to use the CSS background color property to define the background color for our HTML element, for instance. Hello guys, I want to thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, please comment, tap the bell for notification. Thank you.